Hi, welcome back to another segment. I am Jesse Tom,
And I am Brian from Chords and Notes Nation.
and today we are going to talk about the future of humanity and how we think it is going to unfold. The thing I have a problem with, Brian, is how the youth are bringing up in this world we live in right now with the propaganda and the vampirery on the interweb, the TV, the social media, showing the youth the corruption and the fake meaning of true happiness and life. What do you think?
Well, I lost a couple of words there, so I'm just going to kind of fly with this. I think you're absolutely right. We've been seeing this snowball for generations now. I remember, oh my goodness, I was born in 1972, so some of my earlier memories are from the 80s. The 70s, I was still too young. Um, but I remember the talk starting then about how oh, this generation, things are getting worse. And slowly, you start to see through the influence of the media, you start to see this degradation of moral compass. These values are slowly being eroded from the side. And it's snowballed into a situation where in this day and age, I'm seeing the destruction of the family unit, the removal of the male as a positive figure. It's the word I'm looking for is the emasculation of men. Okay, I'm looking, and oddly enough, I'm seeing men wanting to become women, pretending to be women. Um, so it's actually a complete mental role reversal. I'm seeing confusion being spread more than ever. I'm seeing godlessness spread more than ever. And but I'm only seeing that on mass media. Where I live, and it's not like major metropolitan area. I'm in the Midwest. So typically when things change in the culture in the United States, it's usually on the East Coast and the West Coast, and it usually takes a couple of years to kind of get into the Midwest. Okay, just because you're dealing with a continent, different regions are, it's the same as, the Bahamas are different than Jamaica. Haiti's different than, Trinidad and Tobago. They're all part of the same region, but there are differences. And so what I'm seeing this promotion of confusion, of godlessness, of lawlessness. And I'm also seeing one of the most important things I think that's not talked about in all of this. Now, I'm in my fourth or fifth career. All right, I've changed careers in my life, and I'm working as a truck driver. And most of the problems that I see on the road today are based on impatience. And that impatience, now going back to my previous career as a social studies teacher, understanding society, that impatience on the road is a byproduct of having a society where everything you can have at the touch of a button. If it takes more than 5 seconds, people are impatient. Where when I was growing up, that didn't exist. Okay, so you're seeing this absolute total change in everything cultural. And it's flipping everything traditional upside down, shaking it up. And now we're getting to the point where the things that were traditional values are being persecuted.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. And the thing, me think, is one of the most important topics that you just say touched on is men. Men not being real men. Because the foundation of the whole relationship of a family is a man. A man is the foundation. The woman is the framing, and the family is the roof of their house. But with a roof and with the walls, the house will crumble with no foundation. And that is what we are seeing right now. We are seeing a lot of houses with walls and a roof, but no foundation. Because men, for some reason, are afraid to be a real man nowadays because of the prosecution that you will get. Because if you're too manly, then you don't believe in woman rights. If you're too manly, you don't respect others' sexuality and things. So the manly man decides, me don't see nothing, me don't hear nothing, and me not gonna talk about nothing. So the foundation starts to crumble. And when the foundation starts to crumble, the walls and the roof will collapse in. And that is what we are seeing so much today. And when your foundation and your walls and your roof crumble in, the family inside the house runs out into the world. So now they are not protected by the family's unit. They are now protected by the world's propaganda. And they see the bigger houses, the fancy things, and they are say, me don't want an average house. Me don't want a good foundation. Me want a fancy thing. So if me go and do these other things me I see on the social media and what's getting pushed heavily by the corruption of head officials, they go and they buy a house with no foundation and they live in it. And then they wonder why their house collapses in the future.
I agree with you 100%. You said it exactly the way that it is. There is no disagreement there. And to add to that, we have to take a look at the 40,000 foot view. Okay. Why is this happening and who is perpetrating this? Because the family unit itself, as God put together, the man is the spiritual head of the house. The woman, if you read Proverbs 31, see, this isn't like we've been told where the man is the dominant and the woman is submissive. No, because as we've been told that each, the man and the wife should be submissive to one another. Okay. But in Proverbs 31, like you said, the woman is the walls of the house. My God, if you read that, you find out what a powerhouse the woman is. They both have roles. Okay. There's no shame in having a role. We all have a role. You have a role. I have a role. This person has a role. That person has a role. We all have roles in society. Where I work within my family, I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a driver. Whatever the fact is, that we have roles. But the family unit is under attack. And going to what you were saying, expanding it to the 40,000 foot view, it's very, very simple. Okay. And I'm going to call it as I see it. You disagree with me as you want. Everyone else can disagree with me as you want. But what's going on in this world is very simple. Okay. It's called infiltration from within. You have a group of people in the world that are absolutely set about gaining absolute control over everything. When you remove the family unit as the basic structure of a society, what do you have? Confusion. Like you said, they're running in the streets. You're lost. Okay. So if you can, it's a very safe, very basic principle of communism and tyranny. Create the problem in order to present the solution. So if you enact laws and policies within your society, I'm going to highlight, and maybe I'm not the expert on this, but I'm going to highlight what's going on in this country when it comes to the African American communities where men are disproportionately jailed. Okay. Think about that. the destruction of the African American family unit. But anybody, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. The idea is the same. If you can destroy the family unit, where does that mom go for her financial needs? To the state. And when the state grabs power, does it ever give it back? Okay. So if you have media and corporations in lockstep with the government, promoting the destruction of traditional values, creating a narrative of this is where we're going to go in this world, and you have no choice. What is this really all about? And so people need to wake up. They need to see it for what it is. And the only way that they win is if we allow them to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, the bottom line is control and power. The higher ups, the politicians, the one we elect to lead our people, are the ones who are destroying our own people. They push an agenda that destroys the family unit, because a destroyed family unit brings more money and power to the elected in power and in charge right now. So with a whole family unit, with a foundation, a wall, and a roof, the politicians, the kings, the queens, the princes, the presidents, they lose a certain type of power because each family household unit is strong. And to break through a strong unit takes a lot of determination and a lot of money wasted. But a broken unit, a broken family, you can pick them up like that, and you put a little seed upon their brain, and you let that seed grow, and they become your flower. They become your tree. They don't become their own. They don't produce the fruit for their family. They produce the fruit for the rich man's hand. And how we are right now, if we keep doing this, if we keep accepting the fakeness, if we keep accepting the seeds putting to our brains, we will all be legless. We will have roots that are controlled by others.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. And I know have you let your people know, your viewers know what you do for a living? Okay. So I know, and you know, in your line of work, okay, I know you see this firsthand. You see all of this firsthand. So you are not speaking just opinion. You're speaking from the experiences. You go into situations, you deal with the ramifications of it. You see all of the effects of it. Okay, so I absolutely respect that you're able to see this and identify. And I think it's very, 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 very important for people to understand that the only weapon that they have against us that can truly control us is fear. And they put that on display in 2019 for the world to see.